The Elephant's Child, read by Rachel.
Bicolored Python, read by Beth Thomas.
Crocodile, read by Christine G.
Colo Colo Bird, read by Newgate novelist.
Baboon, read by E. Snow.
In the high and far-off times the elephant, O best beloved, had no trunk. He had only a blackish bulgy nose, as big as a boot, that he could wriggle about from side to side, but he couldn't pick up things with it. But there was one elephant, a new elephant, an elephant's child, who was full of satiable curiosity, and that means he asked ever so many questions. And he lived in Africa, and he filled all Africa with his satiable curiosities. He asked his tall aunt, the ostrich,
why her tail feathers grew just so.
And his tall aunt, the ostrich, spanked him with her hard, hard claw. He asked his tall uncle, the giraffe,
what made his skin spotty?
and his tall uncle, the giraffe, spanked him with his hard, hard hoof. And still he was full of satiable curiosity. And he asked his broad aunt, the hippopotamus,
Why her eyes were red?
and his broad aunt, the hippopotamus, spanked him with her broad, broad hoof. And he asked his hairy uncle, the baboon,
Why melons tasted just so.
and his hairy uncle, the baboon, spanked him with his hairy, hairy paw. And still he was full of satiable curiosity. He asked questions about everything that he saw, or heard, or felt, or smelt, or touched. And all his uncles and his aunts spanked him. And still he was full of satiable curiosity. One fine morning in the middle of the precession of the equinoxes, this satiable elephant's child asked a new fine question that he had never asked before. He asked,
What does the crocodile have for dinner?
then everybody said,
Hush!
in a loud and dreadful tone, and they spanked him immediately and directly without stopping for a long time. By and by, when that was finished, he came upon Colo Colo Bird sitting in the middle of a wait-a-bit thorn bush, and he said,
My father has spanked me, and my mother has spanked me. All my aunts and uncles have spanked me for my satiable curiosity. And still I want to know what the crocodile has for dinner.
Then Colo Colo Bird said, with a mournful cry,
Go to the banks of the great, grey, green, greasy Limpopo River, all set about with fever trees, and find out.
That very next morning, when there was nothing left of the equinoxes, because the precession had proceeded according to precedent, this satiable elephant's child took 100 pounds of bananas, the little short red kind, and 100 pounds of sugar cane, the long purple kind, and 17 melons, the greeny, crackly kind, and said to all his dear families,
Goodbye. I am going to the great, grey, green, greasy Limpopo River, all set about with fever trees, to find out what the crocodile has for dinner.
and they all spanked him once more for luck, though he asked them most politely to stop. Then he went away, a little warm, but not at all astonished, eating melons and throwing the rind about, because he could not pick it up. He went from Grahamstown to Kimberley, and from Kimberley to Khama's country, and from Khama's country he went east by north, eating melons.